Hello punters and welcome back to a Saturday racing preview. Of course, the video looking at the Caulfield Cup meeting tomorrow at Caulfield. Really looking forward to it. It's a massive day of racing. Always a real special race on the racing calendar, so really looking forward to getting stuck straight into it. So going to be getting, any of you that are new here, obviously subscribe to the video if you enjoy what I'm putting out here. Subscribe to the channel, should I say. So if you enjoy this video, obviously give the video a like and comment any of your thoughts or feedback down below as well. Obviously, really interested to hear what you guys think, or if you've got any questions for me, you can ask me that down below, and I will get back to them as soon as possible. So obviously we're going to get straight through to this meeting tomorrow. 10 races on the program, 10 races at Randwick as well. I'm going to get through in the next video, so keep an eye out for that one if you can have a go there, or you're interested in the racing there tomorrow in general. So we'd really appreciate if you can give a view onto both of those. So without any further ado, we're going to get stuck straight into tomorrow's card at Caulfield. As well, if you are new here and you haven't seen my social media pages, I do post daily tips every day but just pretty much every day actually, to be honest, Monday through to Sunday. There's a couple of days I have off here and there for just a bit of reasons to try and reset. Can't be on the punt every single day of the week, that's for sure. But look, obviously we're going to get straight into this. If you haven't already done so, go check out my social media channels. So _racing tips on Instagram and C-Lane Racing Tips on Facebook. So first race in the program at Caulfield, looking at a good forward track tomorrow, but it is starting to rain here in Melbourne, so there's a chance we could get into that soft range. So keep that in mind tomorrow when you're looking through the format. Look, I'd suggest if you're keen to get something at a price and you think it's going to come in tomorrow, you can probably back it tonight. But I would suggest playing tomorrow morning, or as the track plays out throughout the day. You want to be keeping an eye on how it plays out, and then also the track conditions and the weather throughout the day. So keep an eye out for that. But first race in the program looks like Miss Polanski. I think it will roll forward up towards the top. All Hardwood won't be far away. Lord Durante usually likes to be up there towards the pace. Skidoo, I don't think will be too far away. Neither will separate. That'll be the main speed factors in the first on the program. Look, I'm keen to go with number 2, Skidoo here. I think this horse can improve nicely third up here. Obviously, last start wasn't that bad a run. It probably doesn't read as good as what it was. It was a pretty good, strong form race. Fair to Remember's come out and run pretty well since. Gamay was a little bit disappointing in its recent run, but look, that form race has been quite good. I think Skidoo's going to really appreciate getting that extra run under the belt. Now third up, which it has won before third up, which is obviously a good key coming into this, and 1700 metres will suit pretty nicely. I still think this horse is probably going to be looking for further than a mile and a half. Mile and a quarter, and possibly even mile and a half might stretch out that far. So this horse we did see last preparation step out and trip out to the 2,000 metres plus. So I still think this is going to have a bit of further improvement, but I think it'll be good enough to win this race tomorrow. So it goes on top for me. And of number 3, Power Scheme in for second, who was really a good run first up in the benchmark 78 at Caulfield behind Rich Hips and Easy Beast. It ran quite well there on that occasion. Looks drawn to get a decent run in the race. Might need a little bit of luck from there, depending on the amount of speed that's in the race, and if they're able to cross in front of Power Scheme. Might be midfield on the fence, which will be a bit of a tough spot to get out of. So $3 probably a bit short for me, but I do concede it's probably the best horse of the race. It's just that little bit of a query onto where it's going to be in running and how much luck it gets in the run. The other one I didn't mind at a bit of a price, this one actually, is number 5, Not Mine. Now, this horse come across in Hong Kong, and its last run at Caulfield over 400 metres wasn't that Rich Hips Easy Beast race. But I think this horse is going to really appreciate stepping out at 700 metres. Second up form is much, much better than first up form. Its first up form previously read 5 starts for no wins, no placings, whereas now its second up form is 4 starts for a win and a placing. So it does run much better second up, and I think this horse can improve here. It's not a winner though. It's had 20 starts for just the 1 win and 2 placings, but I think we could see some improvement. Craig Williams in the saddle, a bit of a tricky barrier, but I just think $18 is a bit over the odds in a race like this that I could really see it's showing some improvement. And the other horse I didn't mind as well was Sakut, number 4. I think this horse been racing pretty nicely, and that third in that affair to remember and Gamay race, same one as Skidor, was a very nice run. Just that little bit of a career on the barrier for me. Barrier 11 looks a little bit tougher the way the race going to run out. But if it drops back and sits in sort of midfield, bit of cover, it will be right in the finish there. So I think it's got a chance as well. But recapping the numbers in the first on the program, I'm keen to go with number 2 Skidor on top for me, ahead of number 3 Power Scheme in for second, in for third number 4 Sakut. Then in for fourth, I've got in for third, number 5, Not Mine, and then for fourth, number 4, Sakut. Moving on to race number 2 on the program now. Moving on to race number 2 in the program here, and look at the speed map for the race. So I'd suggest that uniquely, No Restriction, Rainbow, and probably Yes Baby Yes would be the likely lead factors in this race here. A couple of these other ones I don't really see pressing on towards the pace, so I think they'll be the main speed factors in this one here. Look, it's going to need a little bit of luck, but I think Yosemite was a little bit over the odds in this race here. Horse number 3. Now, this horse was lined up to go around the 1,000 guineas last week after finished 7th in the prelude behind in Celebrity and Personal. This is obviously a massive step down in grade from that type of race there. Prior to that, it finished an 8th behind Swats That and September Run up the straight, 4 lengths off September Run, which that form's been franked pretty well. And prior to that, she beat Poland on debut, and Poland has since, not on debut, first up, and its second race started, and Poland came out as one since at Flemington as well. So, look, Yosemite, I think's got the best form in this race for me. I think as such, I've got to take it on its merit. 650 and 212, 215 the place looks to be a really good price to me. So, going to have it as my on top selection. Head of number 2, Rambiel, looks a real good talent. I mean, she's a very nice filly, and she's won her last 2 starts really nicely at Benalla and Kyneton. It's obviously a big step up in grade, though. This is probably going to be a toughest test, albeit it's not the deepest race. You could definitely concede that, but I do think that she'll be running well once again. She's got the best form in this race in terms of the winning form that she's got. She's obviously 2 wins in a row, as a lot of these are out of form. They've run some pretty poor races in their last few starts, so she does have that up her sleeve on some of these. But I do think she's going to have to lift her effort, and I think 240 is a bit short about her. I'd like to see her do it at city level first before I can get stuck into those type of odds about her. Look, another horse that I did think was over the odds here was Incredulous Dream, who last started at Mooney Valley behind Night Raid and Aidensfield. Just didn't really, wasn't really the greatest run, but the run prior to that for me was the real impressive one at Sandown behind Ears the Barman and the Wrangler. Now, Ears the Barman goes around at Pakenham, and if you're watching this Friday night, if you're watching this as soon as I upload it, it'll be racing very soon. But if you are watching this either tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, or later this evening, go and have a look at how He's the Barman has gone at Pakenham. I believe it was in race number 8 or race number 7. So just go and have a look there. I think it is race number 7 actually. So just go check out that form could be franked there. But regardless, I still think the Incredulous Dream looks pretty over the odds here. Third up, rock hard fit. Could see an improved performance in a race like this, so it goes in for third for me. Then in for fourth, I've got number 6, No Restriction, who I think could also improve off its last start performance at Ballarat on the soft track behind Zorro's Dream and House. I think that's a not a bad form line for a race like this one here, so I think it can run well. Anitra looks a bit over the odds at the 15s. Last start performance behind Poland and Grand Slam was quite good. It was only narrowly beaten in that race there, and the subsequent run before that. The run prior to that was third to Succeed Indeed and Perfect World, which would turn out to be a decent form race out of Sandown. It's over 600 metres, so I expect Anitra to run pretty well also. But look, I have got number 3, Yosemite on top for me. Any bit of luck, I think this horse can run pretty well. Hope there's a strong enough tempo for it to roll into the race and potentially get up off the fence and peel out and finish over the top of them. But Rambiel, I really respect this horse, very good horse, but I want to see it do it at City Grade first before you can get into odds of $2.40. In for third, I've got number 7, Incredulous Dream. Then in for fourth, number 6, No Restriction. Moving on to race number 3 on the program now. We got the Gothic Stakes over 1,400 metres. Look at the speed map here for this one. I suggest that Miratao will probably lead them up out to win. Won't be far off the lead either. And Danger and Asamu will probably roll up from those inside 2 barriers, barriers 2 and 3, to get close enough to the speed there as well. So I expect them to be just sitting in behind the speed. Look, I am with on Danger. I think this horse looks ready to win in this. Its run last start behind Free to Move and River Twain wasn't too bad. The one prior to that at Cranbourne was its first run before it went out for a spell. It was really impressive. Won dominantly there at Cranbourne on that occasion. That was on a soft track, so if we get that rain tomorrow and it gets into that soft range, it'll just suit this horse even better. It looks to get a perfect run in behind the speed, so it looks the one to beat for me. On top of ahead of number two, Samu obviously has the better form, has form coming in from behind on the lead and Wild Rule last start, which has really stood up well. That in fact was only just 7 days ago, so the 7 day backup here into this reads pretty well. $3.50 is probably the right price, I think, and is drawn as well, similarly to Endanger to get a perfect run in the race. And I couldn't really split the two of them. I think the market's got it spot on there. The definitely the two to beat for me. In for third, I've got number 9, Mirror Tower, who should be able to get a good time in the speed. And I thought it was a good win first up, winning by 2.3 lengths. It was really strongly backed on that occasion, and really did the backers justice in winning impressively. That was on a soft track at Ballarat, so a bit of rain tomorrow won't hurt this horse's chances, and I think it'll be boxing on for a long way, and I think it's a good chance at $7.50. Horse that I thought was over the odds. Well, I have got Saltpeter as my fourth tip. I thought this horse was not too bad, resuming in that same race as On Danger. I did think that So Let's Toast was over the odds. That third first up at Benalla at a benchmark 58 doesn't read too well, but if you look back to its win at Sale in its first preparation, beating HEQ, that was a pretty good win. If it can show some improvement off its last start performance, it could run well here. I do think a winning chance, maybe not, but could definitely place in this. Out to Win was pretty good winning at Coolmore last start on a heavy track, so if you get that rain, it probably isn't the worst, but It's Hot's probably a little bit overs as well, I suppose, coming out of a Ray benchmark 64 last start at Moonee Valley. But look, I'm pretty keen on the top four that I've got here. I think that they seem to be the ones to beat for me. So number 6 On Danger's on top. Head of number 2, Osamu in for second, who I'm really worried about with that 7 day backup and obviously the strong form behind Wild Ruler and on the lead from last start. Mirror Tower goes in for third. Then in for fourth, I've got number 1, Saltpeter. Move on to race number 4 now. We got the Neds Classic over 2,000 metres, Caulfield Classic. Previously it was called. Mr. Roger and Let's Crack a Deal look to be the lead horse in this race. That's if Let's Crack a Deal rolls up towards the pace there. And Shetshwire probably won't be too far off, and Celestial Soul might just look to tuck in behind them here. So really nice race this, obviously, for the younger horses. Look, I've gone with number 2, Alvarado. I think this horse is building nicely. I was pretty keen on it last week in the Spring Champion Stakes at Randwick before it was scratched and saved this race instead. And look, there's good reason for it. Its last start performance at Flemington was really good behind Cookcoey and Young Werther. Really liked that run there over 800 metres. I think 2,000 metres is going to suit this horse perfectly. Been well set for this race here, and I think it'll be running well under Mark Zahra. It's probably just one that doesn't want to get too far back. It doesn't look like it's going to be a strong tempo in this race here, but hopefully it's able to get into its work and roll into it and run a top race. So it goes on top for me. I have number 9, Hit the Shot, who was probably a moral beaten last time out. It was a sensational run. Just never got any room in the straight behind Shetshwire and Tour of Duty. I think it can bounce back off of that and turn the tables on those two here. And looks pretty hard to beat for me at the $9.50. So they're two horses that I'm probably going to have something on Alvarado to win, and then I'm going to have something on Hit the Shot each way, because $3.10 into the place bet this horse is ridiculous, and I definitely think it's a good, worthy of a good bet. In for third, I do have number 8, Redwood Shadow, who I was impressed with this horse's performance over the mile last start at Ballarat. Looks like a horse is going to really get out nicely over trip, and it gets that chance here over 2,000 metres. I think it's going to run well, so it goes in for third. And then in for fourth, I've got number 10, Let's Crack a Deal, the favourite. Obviously, disappointing run last start over the 800 metres in that Shetshwire race, but didn't have a whole lot of luck, so you can forgive that there. The performances prior read pretty strongly, and I think it could bounce back. But I do think 420 is a bit under the odds. I mean, to be favourite based off what it did, yes, it didn't have a lot of luck, but it still was a bit of a disappointing performance for me, regardless. And I don't see how it is not 420 when you've got Hit the Shot at 950, who Hit the Shot came into the race really nicely and didn't get a whole lot of luck, and it's still running for fourth and ran well there. So I can't really see how there's that big a difference in the market between them. But I do think that Let's Crack a Deal will be in the finish. Number 11, Tour of Duty, finished second in that race behind Shetshwire, and obviously a few of these come out of that race there, so it's got a chance. Shetshwire obviously has to be given a mention based off its win last start, so got to put in. That looked to be the main chance for me. Tradare is an interesting one coming out of a Mooney Valley run behind Tanker last time out. Looks to be a horse that'll appreciate the getting on the bigger track and getting out and trip. But look, I'm going to stick with number two, Alvarado on top for me. I think it's been well set for this race. Going to be hard to beat. So it goes on top. Header number 9, Hit the Shot. I do suggest an each way play on. It looks a nice bet at the good odds. In for third number, I've got number 8, Redwood Shadow. Then in for fourth, I've got number 10, Let's Crack a Deal. Moving on to race number 5 on the program now. We've got the Ethereal Stakes over the 2,000 metres as well. Look at the speed map here for this race. It's just be quite a lot of pace in this one here. I think Star of Eden, Chica Fueto, Pensado and Northern Bliss off the inside barriers. They'll look to roll forward in the race. Mrs. Murphy and I think Blazing Lace won't be too far away either. Look, I'm keen to go with number 4, Succeed Indeed here. I think this horse will be well suited stepping out in trip heels. I really liked its run last time out behind Thermosphere and Starrel. Hit the line nicely on that occasion, ran pretty well, and I think it'll be able to improve off of that performance and run well again. So it goes on top for me as the one to beat, ahead of number 6, Pensado, who was obviously terrific winning last start in the Oaks trial at Flemington. Beat Salto Angel on that occasion. I think that is a pretty strong form for this, and $7 about it looks a bit over the odds. So I'll also be having something each way on it as well. Number 6, Pensado is my second pick. In the third, number 5, Silhouette has been really strongly back. Gee whiz, this horse, $9.50 into $4.40. I mean, that's a real strong move. Comes out of that Thermosphere Star Rail race, and I think it'll be, again, a horse that'll appreciate stepping out of trips. So it goes in for third. And then in for fourth, I've got number 11, Selfless, who I thought was just a bit over the odds here. Now, this horse won well first up at Wangaratta on debut. Came to Flemington at Thermosphere Star Rail race, but I think he can just show some improvement stepping out and trip here, and might just be able to. We saw a similar profile with the horse that won the 1,000 guineas. The name just escapes me there. Hang on. Odium was the horse that I was thinking about, of course. So, obviously similar colours, same trainers, basically same combination as well. So, I think that Selfless could bounce back and run a cheeky race at odds here at $34. Other chances, Star of Eden looks over the odds at $21. Obviously, Star Rail is going to be given a chance. I just thought that at $4, it seemed a bit short to me. I didn't mind that run behind Thermosphere, but there's a couple of these other ones who I just think will get just that little bit better stepping out in trip, and they might be able to turn the tables on it. So I thought $4 just a bit short, and I wanted to look around it. Chica Fueto, I could also give a bit of a shout to. But look, I'm keen with my selection, number 4, Succeed Indeed. I think it's going to really appreciate the step up in trip and run a good race. So it goes on top ahead of number 6, Pensado, who I'm also having an each way play on. I think this horse is well over the odds, considering he was an Oaks trial winner. And I'm keen to see it going into the Oaks as well, because I thought that was a terrific run, and it's going to be a horse that'll probably appreciate all the 2,400 metres. So Silhouette goes in for third, and then in for fourth, I've got number 11, Selfless, as a bit of a big odds play. Moving on to race number 6, and we've got the Alinghi Stakes over the 1,100 metres. Decent little race here. Only the 9 horses to go in it, but looks a pretty competitive field. I think look at the speed map. I think From Within will lead them up. She's a Thief probably sits just in behind. Futus and California Zimbol will roll across and get into prominent positions from there. I would suggest. Look, I'm really keen to go for Futus here. I loved its first up win, beat Hilo. Hilo since run terrifically behind Ethereal, so and was probably a good thing beaten on that occasion as well. I think that Futus just got a really nice profile to win this race here. I really like how it's been kept fresh since its last run. Its last run was back on the 12th of September, so just over a month off the track. Obviously, it's come down here, had a bit of time to get used to the new surroundings, and I really like that. And I think this horse will be pretty hard to beat over the 1,100 metres tomorrow. Looks to get a perfect run the race if he can get across from that barrier. California Zimbol's the other one I've got to give a good shout to. Obviously, a really good first up performance. Narrowly beaten by Villamai, who's a very smart mare, of course, in her own right. The step out, the extra 100 metres is going to really suit this horse nicely. Second up form strong. If it rains, it's going to suit this horse nicely. It's had 3 starts on a soft track for 2 wins and a placing, so I expect it to run well as well. So they're the 2 that I'm very keen on. Number 1, Hummer. Obviously, if they go too hard out front, this horse can probly swoop down the outside and finish over the top of them. Third up form's not great, though. It's had 4 starts for just the 2 placings, and it has been a little bit disappointing so far as preparation, I must say. So a little bit tough to go. This is an easier assignment to watch his face the last couple of starts, but I think there's a couple ahead of her, so she goes in for third. And then in for fourth, I've got number 6, Prophet's Thumb. I think it's going to really improve off its first up performance at Morphettville. Comes in this second up. If we get this horse probably hoping that there's not as much rain involved, but I think that the being second up and having the benefit of that first up run, I can see plenty of improvement coming from it, hitting the line pretty nicely there on that occasion. But look, I think California's Inbound and Fortuse, the two Sydney horses, are really hard to beat in this race here, and they're the two I'm going to be with. So Fortuse goes on top ahead of number 2, California's Inbound for second. In for third, I've got number 1, Hummer Hummer. Then in for fourth, I've got number 6, Prophet's Thumb. Moving on to race number 7 now, we've got the Caulfield Sprint over the 1,000 metres. Look at the speed map here. I think Alfora and Jungle Edge will lead them up. Fabergino probably not too far away either. I think they're going to be the main factors in the race here for tomorrow. Now, if it doesn't rain, I'm really keen to play with Fabergino, but if it does, I am worried about it. I think the source, obviously, first up at Mooney Valley on the soft track, was the favourite, drifted out a little bit. In the market late. It was a disappointing run there on that occasion, but look, you can forgive it. I know Tiana Robertson said that if it was going to rain, and she would have had that query, and obviously first time in the Mooney Valley. So I'm willing to forgive that run and give her another chance tomorrow. Obviously, the rain's the query with her. If it really gets in that soft range, then probably be looking elsewhere. But while we stay on that good track, I think it's got a good chance. So it goes on top for me. Ahead of number 3, Graf, who I'm interested to see how this horse can go with Danny O'Brien. Obviously now a new trainer, and sometimes we can see his horses get well turned around. We know how good his ability is. He's a Group 2 winner. Obviously, multiple Group 1 place as well. He's got sensational form, and he's got better form than all of these by a mile. And if he runs up to his best, which I don't think he can do. He's had plenty of problems in his past, but if he can run well enough, I think he could be right in the finish here at the $12. He's definitely worth an each way bet for me. Number 6, Alfora, no disrespect, I love this horse. He's an absolute star, and he's going to be doing. I knew he'd do some good things this spring after his autumn preparation. Had that quick spell. He was terrific first up at the Valley over 955 metres. He gets out to the 1,000 here at Caulfield, which he's won at this track and distance before, which is obviously a good plus. Oh, sorry, he's won over the 1,100, here at Caulfield. But I think based off that first up run, he's hard to hold out. Just 210's a bit short for me, because this, again, is a pretty strong race for him. Number 7, Garner, goes in for fourth. A horse who I think can run well for Gordon Richards. He doesn't often bring him over here and they run poorly, so going to back him in to get it right with this one. This horse has come here and run well before. 3 from 3 at the distance is a real key. It has good performances on a soft track. It also has never missed a placing from 7 goes on a soft track, so gets the rain. This horse should run pretty well in it. Obviously, Jungle Edge, you can't leave him out, especially if the rain comes down tomorrow. He'll come right to the thick of things if it gets in that soft range as well. And look, they look to be the main ones. Shimino is an interesting runner coming into this second up off a second in that Snitscraft race at Morphettville. I believe that there was a horse in the previous that came out of that form race as well. So we'll be interested to see how that plays out. But look, I'm keen to go with number 2, Fabergino, just while we're on that dry track. But if we get into that wet track, I'm going to stick on to Graf. I think he's a good each way bet, and he's my second pick. In for third, I've got number 6, Alforo, who, like I said, no disrespect, just a bit short for me. And then for fourth, number 7, Garner. Moving on to race number 8 now. We've got the Moonga Stakes over the 1,400 metres. And look at the speed map here. I suggest that Morvada, Streets of Avalon, Be Good to Your Mother be the likely speed horses from this race here. And I think they're going to get across that outside barrier. I don't really see too many kicking up the inside. Morrissey might look to make them work, and Wild Planet probably won't be too far off either. But looks to be the way it spaces out, and Venetians is probably not going to be too far away either. Look, this is a race where I was keen to play number 4, Wild Planet here. I think this horse can bounce back off its last start performance in the Show County behind Probabeel and Funstar, and that was in the Epsom. Was the Show County was when it finished 8th 3 starts back, and then it had a good win in the Theo Marks, beat Funstar on that occasion. So I think a return to that type of run there will see it run a really terrific race here on this and 600 metres back to 1,400 metres, I think is a positive. It's drawn really well. Looks to get a terrific run the race, and I think it'll be quite hard to beat, to be honest. So Wild Planet goes on top for me, number 4. Ahead of number 1, 50 Stars. So if we get the rain tomorrow, this horse really does come into the thick of things for me, and it looks well over the odds. At its best form could run well. I thought its first up run wasn't terrific up the straight, but it gets out and trip a little bit. Obviously, this horse probably looking for the mile and a bit further, but I wouldn't be surprised if this horse could run pretty well second up here and show some good improvement. So it goes in for second. In for third, I've got number 9, Windstorm. Obviously, he's been terrific, and he comes into this off the 7-day backup. He comes around again. He's just a winner. He just keeps on winning, and 245. Look, this is a really tough race for him, but he's obviously in terrific form, and you could definitely take him, especially with a lot of the bookmakers giving the bonus bets for second or third. Can't see him not being in the placings personally, bar bad luck. And Best of Days also is worth a good shout here. He's been pretty well backed as well. His first up performance at Flemington, Brian riddled me that, and Iconoclasm was pretty good 2 weeks ago. He comes in this second up. I'm confident he's going to really improve immensely off of that. Probably prefers for the track to be dry, but I think he can still run well enough. Venetians is interesting. He's obviously come across from France, and he was sixth in that race in the Riddle Me That Iconoclasm race. Second up here, a big watch on him, big watch of the betting and the market for him. $23 with Damien Oliver in the saddle looks pretty nice to me. The Inevitable is probably no one who can improve, especially if we see a bit of rain coming down. And this horse who stepping out at 1400 metres, we're going to see a lot of improvement. Probably coming back around the bend will suit him pretty nicely as well. So looks a good race. Obviously Streets of Avalon and Be Good to Your Mother as well. Probably look overs based off if they can show up their best form, but they're just massively out of form at the moment. That's why I couldn't put them in. But Wild Planet for me looks to get the perfect run of the race, and as such, that's why I've put it on top. Out of number 1, 50 Stars, who could show some nice improvement and bounce back to his former form. Number 9, Windstorm, obviously in terrific form. Got to give it a good mention. Then even for fourth, number 10, Best of Days. Now, moving on to race number 9, we've got the Caulfield Cup, of course, and really big field to take this on, as we love to see. And it looks a terrific addition of the race this year. We've got some fantastic internationals going around it as well, some real good Aussie staying bred talent. Obviously, a couple of internationals that we've brought and trained here as well, with the likes of Master of Wine, Very Elegant, who look to be pretty strong chance in this also. Now, look at the speed map here. I think with the Prince of Arran, they'll probably try to lead with Finch. I think they'll be the main two that get forward. A Dashing Willoughby, I think, will also be up there towards the pace. Buckhurst will probably roll forward. I think Anthony Van Dyke from the outside barrier, he'll look to just slowly try to cart across and follow Prince of Arran into the race, along with Vow and Declare. They'll do the main speed horses in this race here. Look, I've been really keen on number 1, Anthony Van Dyke. Obviously an Epsom Derby winner. We haven't seen a horse like this come to Australia for some time, and I'm really excited to see what he can do here. Obviously, I'm not too concerned whether we get rain or a good track. I think he's handled both. He's had wins on both surfaces. So obviously the barriers are concerned, but he was $7, and if he can get any type of run, if he gets a bit of cover in the race, he'd be extremely hard to beat for me. So he goes on top. I'm going to stick with him despite the wide barrier. Number 4, Buckhurst, is the other one I'm going to have an each-way play on. I'm having a good each-way play on both of them. They look to be the two. Buckhurst looks a real good horse, and obviously he's had 10 starts for 4 wins in 3 seconds, so he doesn't often miss out. And he looks just to map really well in this race. Looks to get a perfect run in it. And he also just really looks to have a great profile to be winning a Caulfield Cup first up. So I think he's going to be hard to beat also. And the blinkers are on, which is looks to be an interesting one. He has beaten Sir Dragonet, who's obviously one of the favourites for the Caulfield Cup behind Arcadia Queen and Russian Camelot. So you got to put a bit into that as well. So Buckhurst and Anthony Van Dyke are my main two for me. Then in for third, I've got a horse who looks to be pretty nice odds here, and it's number 18, Chapato. He's been in flying form, and he has to carry the minimal weight of 50.5 kilos. And I really liked his win last week, but beating Sobrowski, it was a nice win. He comes right down the weights again, and he just looks to be peaking at the right time. He's got that race fitness now, and I think he will run a good race. And the other horse that I didn't mind as well was Toffee Tongue. Now, this horse ran terrific in the Wing Stakes behind, in the Turnbull behind Very Elegant. That was a top run, and I really was impressed by that. She's obviously the Australian Oaks winner. I think she's going to improve nicely coming into this. The rain will suit her very nicely. If we get a bit of a wet rain in the track, she's going to come right in the thick of things at $16. So she's my 4th pick. Look, I've obviously left out Very Elegant. If the rain comes, she's going to be extremely hard to beat. So I just thought for me, I wanted to have a look at a few bit of odds. I never like going to the favourites in these type of races. I just have a sense that maybe, I know that she's been training for this race, but maybe last week was Very Elegant's race. It was a tough win. I mean, she had to stick wide. There was five of them sort of sprinting together up the straight, and she had to really dig in to get over the top and win there on that occasion. So I'm just concerned as to how much that might have taken out of her. But if we do get the rain come tomorrow, which we are getting the rain overnight here at the moment, this horse comes right in the thick of things and should be hard to beat. The other one who I didn't, obviously, Prince Master of Wine, he's been running and he's been prepping for this type of race here, and I'm expecting him to run really well over 2,400 metres. He's obviously one of Australia's main chances as well. Dashing Willoughby's a horse you don't want to leave out. This is a horse who I think off the inside barrier is going to get a perfect run in the race, and Michael Walker obviously decided to jump off Prince Aaron and get onto this horse, and with plenty of reason as well. This horse has run really well over 3,200 and 2,400 metres before, so looks get a really good run in the race, and should be right in the finish as well. So there's plenty of good chances in this year's Caulfield Cup, and I've probably missed out a couple others as well, but I've got to move on with the video. Number one, Anthony Van Dyke on top for me, ahead of number four, Buckhurst. I'm having an each way play on both of them. In for third, I've got number 18 Chapato. I just thought could run a really bolter a race from down in the weights, and Toffee Tongue goes in for fourth. I also thought it was over the odds, but making a good case for the likes of Finch, Very Elegant, Master of Wine, and Dashing Willoughby as well. I think they can all run top races in this as well. Moving on to race number 10 on the program now, and it is the Tristark Stakes to finish off the program. Look at the speed map here. I suggest that Felicia will lead them up. I don't really see too many else challenging her in this, and I think that she'll be able to get the lead quite easily. I'm keen to go with Madame Rouge here. I think this horse will be able to run well here. She was pretty unlucky behind Sierra Sue and She Shall Fly last time out. She was very stiff on that occasion. I just think that if she gets any type of luck here, she'll run a much better race. Obviously, she's hoping that it'll stay a firm track. Her best runs don't come on a wet surface, but I think she'll run really well. So she goes on top for me. And number four, Felicia, who she's done nothing wrong so far in her preparation. She's ultimately consistent, so you can take her at a bit of trust. She goes for second. In for third, I've got number three, Perfect Jewel. And then in for fourth, I've got a horse who, look, at this stage, if we do get a soft track, I'm keen on Benetois. I'm going to be having something each way. This horse loves running on wet surfaces. 5 starts for 4 wins. So I expect its form to turn, especially here at Caulfield, a track that it's won at twice before. If we get the rain tomorrow and it gets into a soft surface. But if not, if we get a good track, I'm going to have Pretty Brazes as my fourth pick. But Madame Rouge goes on top for me now. Look at my best bets and best value bets of the program. So, look, my best bet of the program is going to come in race number 6, the Alinghi Stakes, and it is number 3 for Choose. Just think she's going to get a really good run of the race, and she looks really well set up for this type of race here, and I think she'll be extremely hard to beat. California's in by the main danger, but I think those two have something on the field. So, for Choose is my best bet of the program. Race number 6, number 3 at $2.70 at the current price. The other one that I was pretty keen on, as well as one of my other best bets for the meeting, comes in race number 2, I believe it was. No, not race number 2. Race number 3, sorry, my mistake, and it was number 6 on Danger at the $4. I think this horse will get a perfect run of the race and show plenty of improvement, especially if we get some rain tomorrow. It's one of my other best bets of the program. Best value plays, look, I obviously in the Caulfield Cup, I've gone with Anthony Van Dyke, have an each way play on it, and Buckhurst as well. They're probably two that I can definitely make a strong push for. And then in the final event of the program, I do think Madame Rouge is over the odds at $6.50. And then if we do get some rain, obviously a bit of an each way spec on number 7, Benetois, to make some sharp improvement onto a wet surface. Now looking at the Quaddie Selections tomorrow. Look, in fact, I'm going to just put the Quaddie Selections down in the description for you guys. So if you want to follow me in on my Quaddie, or just interested into what I'm putting into my Quaddie tomorrow, to possibly base yours off, or get some ideas around, you can check that out in the description below. So thank you so much for tuning in to this video. I really appreciate it, as always, and I hope you can find plenty of winners tomorrow and enjoy the terrific day of racing. And once again, thank you so much for all the support and watching this video. Just as much as I appreciate your support as much as I do making it for you guys as well. So stay tuned. I'm going to be looking at the Randwick, obviously the Everest meeting, up next in my next video. So stay tuned for that one if you are keen to be playing there or interested in the racing there tomorrow. So thanks for tuning in, and have a great weekend.